Hello and welcome once again to Collecting Iron Maiden with me, your host James. Today we're going to be taking a look at a book, a very special book which takes us inside the Skunkworks Machine. When Bruce Dickinson announced his autobiography, What Does This Button Do?, one of the things I was most looking forward to learning about from it was about the Skunkworks era. When he first released that album, I kind of wrote it off as a grunge wannabe effort. It wasn't really what I was into at the time, and certainly not what I wanted to hear from Bruce. Years later, I revisited it and absolutely fell in love with the album. So when his book came out, I was looking forward to learning about the history, the stories behind the album, and really why it fell apart, and his views on the album as a whole. But I found Bruce's recollections to be really threadbare and pretty disappointing, if I'm honest. Later on, I found a Facebook group which was run by none other than Chris Dale, the bass guitarist from Skunkworks. Shortly after that, I found that Chris had written his own book, Inside the Skunkworks Machine. And it turns out this was exactly what I was looking for to understand that really fascinating period of Bruce's solo career. Okay, let's go inside the Skunkworks Machine. You can see Chris Dale here. This is the main author. Again, bass guitarist from the band. Contribution from a lot of different other people. From Jack and Dino, who was the producer of the album, through to people that he met on Facebook who just shared their memories of the band and shared a whole heap of photos from behind the scenes and live concerts over the years with Skunkworks. The story in this book is extremely well told. It talks about Chris's early career and how the Skunkwork band was first formed to tour in support of the Balls to Picasso album. Talks about a chance encounter with Yannick Gear, where Yannick gave him advice. This is well before he joined Bruce's band. Talks about his audition process. Talks about meeting the great Alec Dixon. And everything in between. Honestly, there's so much information here. It's unbelievable. I wish that Chris would release more of this material. I wish that Chris was allowed to do an official biography of Maiden, or even just Bruce himself. The way that he writes, it makes you feel like you're there in the room with him on tour. The detail in this book is incredible. You get day-to-day diaries of what was happening when they were recording in the studio. You get snippets from tour stories. You get daily diaries of what an actual day is like on tour with Bruce Dickinson in the middle of nowhere in a tiny European venue. You get incredible stories, photos of what happened on the amazing Sarajevo experience and everything else you could possibly want. The snippets of reviews, there's posters, there's photos, and more photos. Honestly, this is a treasure trove of a book. Anyone who's interested in Bruce Dickinson, Maiden, or Skunkworks, anyone who likes Maiden at all would love this book, and I highly recommend it. Skunkworks has gone through a bit of a revival of interest lately. The release of the Scream For Me Sarajevo documentary reintroduced fans to an iteration of Bruce's band that was a really tight performing unit and had a fascinating story behind it. Couple that with Bruce's most recent world tour, where he actually started playing some Skunkworks material live on stage for the first time in a very long time. Personally, I'm hopeful that Skunkworks will continue this revival, and I'd love to see the guys back on stage together, hopefully soon. Thanks all for watching. See you next time. Cheers, and up the irons.